an interview with one of Houston's most popular actors, an 80s buddy comedy that's not your usual fare, and Harley locks up a frightening new drama. It's all coming up on this month's Houston Theater Beat. Hi everybody, and welcome to this month's edition of Houston Theater Beat. I'm your host, John Lazo. In this month's backstage segment, I had a chance to sit down with well-known Houston actor Brian Heaton to talk about his experiences portraying a vast array of characters here on the Houston theater scene, as well as his upcoming role in William Inge's Bus Stop, which is opening soon at the Owen Theatre in Conroe. In this month's in-performance segment, I'll be visiting with Deb Schultz and two very talented young actresses who are presenting the 80s buddy comedy Sally and Marsha, coming to HCC Northeast. And Harley loves a good drama, so we'll be visiting the Encore Theatre in Midtown for a look at the frightening new prison drama called Incarceration, which is this month's Harley's Hot Ticket. So let's get started. Hi everybody, I'm here at the Owen Theatre in Conroe, which is home to the Players Theatre, and I'm being joined here this evening by my very special guest, who I'm very glad to have on Houston Theater Beat, Mr. Brian Heaton, who's a very familiar face to many of you who frequent theater here in Houston. I'm really glad Brian was able to come in today and be our guest. He's going to talk a little bit about acting, his experience here in Houston Theater, and also the project that he's involved with here at the Owen, which is coming up, which we'll be talking about in just a moment. Brian, thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate having you.
No, it's no problem. Thank you for having me.
Taking the time, absolutely. One of the reasons that I've been wanting to have you on is because I do not know of very many actors who have the breadth of experience that you've had here in Houston. You have played an incredible array of characters since you've been working here in Houston, and many, many different venues. Can you share with the Houston Theater Beat audience a little bit about how you got interested and involved in theater in the first place? How did it start for you? How did the bug start for you?
Well, it was kind of a funny story. I had actually tried to get in all the way back in school. I tried to get into, I had an elective class that I hadn't chosen. I had to choose one, and somebody said, "Hey, Brian, you should go into theater. That's where a lot of the girls are going."
Right,
so
right.
I actually said, "Okay, well, I'll take theater art." Somebody told me it was an easy class, which it was not.
Right.
And yeah, I got into it, and memorizing all the lines. I couldn't stand it at first, but when we first did the first performance of it, I kind of got hooked. I noticed, in school, everybody has their different cliques. Your jocks and your other people over here, and there are just certain people in school, all throughout school, that just don't like you.
Sure.
And I just kind of realized, I didn't make the connection until later, but when I was out there and I was doing certain lines, people would actually cheer for certain things that I said. These were people that really didn't like me on a day-to-day basis. So
Right.
That's when I realized that there was a certain element of people, not just the actors, but the audience, that actually just get just as wrapped up in what they're seeing as much as you get wrapped up in what you're saying and doing out on stage. So
I'll put you on the spot. You don't remember what that first show was?
Oh, yes, I do.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
What was it?
I was a newscaster named Chuck Winchell, and a news reporter in a show called Cemeteries or a Grave Matter.
Wow. So you do remember. That's amazing. That's very good that you've held on to that. You're on stage a lot, and I also have been on stage a lot lately, and every actor has his or her own particular process that they use for preparing for a role. Can you share because I know the Houston Theater Beat audience is always interested in this, your things that you particularly do to prepare for a role? Anything special? Do you just rely on the director? Do you read, or what's your method?
Yeah, it really depends on, my method changes depending on the show that I'm doing. Sometimes the process is more cerebral. Sometimes the part is intellectually complicated, and so I end up doing a lot of reading. For instance, I did Inherit the Wind a while back, and I read Darwin's Origin of Species. I got to say the book wasn't that interesting all the way through, but I did understand where my character was coming from by the end, so that's really all I needed it to do. The rest of it kind of fell into place for me. Some shows are more emotionally complicated. They're harder to attach myself to because they're completely different from me internally.
Sure.
So Brick and Cat on a Hot Tin Roof was a challenge for me. Everything, what I was feeling had to be conveyed through looks, through gestures, and so that was a very intense internal process of trying to find the parts of Brick that I could relate to, the moments where I felt like that, and I just needed to find a connection. It's really about finding a connection with the character. Sometimes it takes reading, sometimes it takes just sitting down and soul searching, or going back through past experiences to find things that connect.
Sure. Emotion memory.
Right. Sure. And sometimes it's a little bit more difficult than others, and it takes me a little bit longer sometimes. Sometimes I get the lines down long before I really know what my character is, and sometimes I get a sense of characterization during the auditions, and so the process is always different. But
now, you had mentioned particularly challenging Brick in Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, which was going to be my next question. The characters that you have found the most challenging or unusual to play, where you've really had to, maybe not struggle, but you've really had to, it's been a lot of hard work. Those characters, Brick was one, obviously.
Right. Brick was one. There are other characters that, I don't know, it's an individual thing. There are certain characters that I play that are difficult for me, and just like it would be for other people individually.
Sure.
There was a character in a show called Outward Bound by Sutton Vane. I played a character named Tom Pryor, and there was a lot of, in that particular role, it wasn't a big show at all. It wasn't like, it's not a show that everybody knows. It wasn't like a particularly greatly written show or anything. But that particular character was, what was going on with that, there was a parallel between that character and myself at the time, and what made that character difficult is I felt like I was giving up an awful lot of myself.
Sure.
Playing that role, and I wasn't sure how much people could see out there that were watching, how much was me and how much the character, how much.
I won't ask you your absolute all-time favorite role, because I know if someone were to ask me that, I probably wouldn't be able to answer that question either. But I will ask you: do you have like maybe 2 or 3 top that when the show is over, after the show closed, you look back on it, you said, yeah, that was some of my best work?
Yeah, there are certain shows that I just loved, not so much just the character, but the overall story, the people that I'm working with, and it all comes together. And usually for me, it's the classics. I love the classics because it completely changes. How you dress is totally different than how you dress, and how you speak is different, and the set dressing is different. You really do wrap yourself in this whole world.
Sure.
And one of my favorites was Arms and the Man, from
great show.
Yeah, from George Bernard Shaw. It was a beautiful show. It had its comedy, it had its drama, it had these fantastic revelations.
Well, speaking of great scripts, let's tell the Houston Theater Beat audience a little bit about the project that you're currently involved in with the Players Theater here at the Owen Theatre in Conroe, because it's one of my favorite plays. It's of course probably one of the great classic pieces of American drama, and that's William Inge's Bus Stop. And you're playing Beau. Tell the audience a little bit about how the experience has been so far and what you're discovering about him.
Okay, it's been a lot of fun. He's a very brash character. He's very arrogant, but at the same time he's kind of naive, and it's a great thing to play off of each other, the arrogance and the naivety.
Sure.
But at the same time, the role, it's got that great William Inge. Same thing with Picnic. It's very much an ensemble show. It's not really about any one person in particular. It's this, that everybody's stuck in this cafe, it's kind of snowed in, everybody's in there, and everybody comes in with their own baggage. Everybody comes in with their own demons, things that they're dealing with.
It's a great choice on the part of the Players Theatre here at the Owen Theatre, and you really do need to come and see it. In fact, we have the information about the dates and the website where you can go to get tickets as well. If you're watching us inside the Loop or on the south side of town, I would say it's worth the drive.
Absolutely.
For sure. Come up to
Absolutely.
Conroe and make sure you catch Bus Stop here at the Owen. The dates are, you all open on October the 18th.
Correct.
And you run through November the 3rd. And if you want information about Bus Stop here at the Owen, make sure you go to the Owen Theatre website, which is www.owentheatre.com. Find out all of the information about everything going on with Bus Stop here at the Owen Theatre in Conroe. And you can come see Brian in his latest endeavor on stage as Beau in William Inge's classic story, Bus Stop. I'd like to thank Brian Heaton for being my very special guest this month on Houston Theatre Beat.
Thank you.
Brian, thank you so much for being on the show. I really appreciate it. Break a leg with Bus Stop. We'll be seeing you in other things, I'm sure, coming up later in the season. And everybody stay tuned. We'll be back with more of the show in just a moment. Hi, everybody. I'm here at the HCC Northeast Campus Drama Department, and I'm being joined by the director and the two cast members of a very special show that's coming up here at HCC Northeast called Sally and Marsha, and I'm being joined in this segment today by Deb Schultz, who is the director of Sally and Marsha, and also I have Sally and Marsha joining me here too. I have Shannon, say your last name? Shannon McCurchie, who's playing Sally. And then I also have Jamie Garcia, who's playing Marsha. She's down there on the end. And ladies, thank you very much for joining me today on Houston Theatre Beat. It's great to have you on the show.
Great, thanks for the opportunity.
Absolutely, it's nice to come out and visit you guys here, way out east, here at the campus. Deb, tell the Houston Theatre Beat audience a little bit about this play.
Yeah, Sally and Marsha actually opened off-Broadway in 1982, but started its creation and work late 78, 79. The play's written by Sybil Pearson, and it is in that vein, similar to John Ford Noonan's A Couple of White Chicks Sitting Around Talking.
One of my favorite plays, by the way, right.
And we just did John Ford Noonan, so we didn't want to do him again this fall.
Sure.
But it's that two people who should not be friends, who find out that they work really well as friends. And in this particular one, there's even kind of the extra added, along the lines of the kid's story, the city mouse and the country mouse.
Oh, cool.
So that it's, not only are they not necessarily set up to be friends, but they're also from such divergent parts of the country. Marsha's from New York, and, Sally's moved here from South Dakota.
Right.
So she's, the little country bumpkin that comes to the big city and just doesn't know how to function.
Right. Shannon, I wanted to ask both you and Jamie a little bit about, you all are very engaged in not only the performance of this play, which, a two-person play, being cast in that, of course, is a great challenge and a great honor, so to speak, but you're also both in the process of studying drama and learning, being a student of the drama and the dramatic arts. Shannon, what's that? What has driven you to theater? What is it about the performance environment that really interests you?
Well, I've always been really drawn to the arts. I actually got my undergraduate originally in English and Communications from St. Thomas, and I wanted more. I wanted to open up a different avenue in the arts.
And Jamie, what about you? What is it that has driven you to the study of the performing arts? Because I know quite a few of the actors and directors in town watch the show, and they remember that time when they were sort of new to the process and studying it. What excites you about it?
Well, I would say it's mostly the challenge, really, of trying to take on a new role. Every time you step in, it's something different. You always have to apply yourself, try to find things in your life that would relate,
Sure.
I would say.
Whereby stay tuned, because right now what we're going to see our young actresses perform a little bit of a scene from Sally and Marsha, and then as soon as that's over, we'll be back with information on how you can come and see the play, and that's coming up right now.
All you got is gas. It'll go away in a minute.
You don't understand. Every September, I'm in bed for 28 days after thinking about going back to school.
School? No wonder you got sick.
No, this is going to be even bigger. It's going to be like the one on 72nd Street.
Put your knees into your stomach.
Oh. It was the day before I got married.
Stay that way. Hush up.
He had to carry me. Oh, and the cab driver had a beard.
Shut up.
Oh.
What you need is a game of Crazy Jacks.
What's that?
A card game.
I'm dying. And I'm lousy at cards.
Well, if you can make noise, you can play this game. Open your eyes. Okay, there are 4 sounds gotta make to play. First is the duck. When you get a jack, quack. Let me hear your duck.
Quack, quack.
You gotta get it out fast, because I'm quacking too. And the first one you get that gets it out gets the card. For the queen, do a monkey. For the king, a dog. For the ace, a pig. Jack, duck, queen, monkey, king, dog, ace, pig. Do them. King,
Ooh, 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 ooh.
duck,
Quack, quack, quack.
king,
What is it?
a dog.
But I did that.
Gotta keep on your toes. Ace, pig.
Snort, snort.
Mine's oink, 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 oink.
What's queen?
A monkey.
How do you do a monkey? That's a monkey.
Well, pick your own monkey then. But you gotta keep the same noise. You can't change it in the game. The rest is like war. Highest card wins, except when you do jack through ace. Ready?
Do you like my coat?
It's nice. You can use color.
What do I look like in it?
Warm?
Don't I look like a walking pink jelly bean?
GD. Ready?
Did you shuffle?
Concentrate, don't talk. Quack, 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 quack.
But that was my jack.
You gotta get out fast. Go.
Cheep, cheep, cheep.
That-
Mine.
That was a bird.
That was my monkey.
Oink, oink,
Woof,
woof,
woof.
woof, woof. Both mine.
Wait a minute.
I got the pig and the dog before you finished one dog.
But you never said you had to do 2 at once.
What else you gonna do if you have a king and an ace?
But I was never told.
Cheep, cheep, cheep. Quack, 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 quack. Woof, 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 quack, quack.
Snort,
Oink,
snort.
oink, oink.
Blah, blah.
That was a queen,
I know.
but that was not your monkey.
His balls dropped.
Ladies, thank you very much for that wonderful scene from Sally and Marsha coming up very soon here at HCC Northeast. Deb, can you give the Houston Theater Beat audience information about reservations, where to call, and also how they can sort of get information about the show, you all have a Facebook page and a reservations number, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Sally and Marsha actually opens November 8th, and we run the 8th and the 9th, Friday and Saturday, both at 8 p.m., and then Sunday, November the 10th at 2 p.m. And then the following weekend, November 15 and 16, Friday and Saturday, again at 8 p.m. So we kind of stick with that traditional theater time.
Good.
As opposed to moving it around as some colleges do. Reservations, however, we can take very easily. We just call the drama department here at 713-718-2655. That will actually get you directly to me, and I will return those phone calls as quick as I get them. And we also have a Facebook page, the HCC Northeast Drama Department Facebook. That has information on there. We'll have the event set up on there. Easy way to get information.
Remember, the phone number for reservations, where you can call and leave reservations, is 713-718-2655. And of course, now everything is done on social media,
Exactly.
Facebook and Twitter. So you should go to your Facebook account and like the HCC Northeast Drama Department page, because that will also give you more information about not only Sally and Marsha, but all the shows
Right.
that come up here at HCC Northeast. And my goodness, you can't beat the ticket price,
No,
for sure.
cheaper than a movie.
That's right. And of course, one of the nice things about seeing productions here on the college campuses are that you really are seeing some of the fresh young faces that we're going to be seeing in the other theaters, the community theaters, and the professional houses in town as well. So it's a great way to experience something brand new here at HCC with Sally and Marsha. I'd like to thank my guests, Deb Schultz, who's the director of Sally and Marsha, and also Shannon McCurchie,
Yes, sir.
I said it right, who's playing Sally, and Jamie Garcia, who's playing Marsha. And stay tuned, because we got more of the show coming up in just a moment. Hi everybody. I'm here at the Encore Theatre being joined by the director and some of the cast members of the upcoming production of a brand new script called Incarceration that you're going to be very interested in coming to see, joining the cast and crew here at Encore Theatre. Joining me today for the segment is Mr. Harold J. Haynes, who is the writer and the director of Incarceration, and also the founding artistic director of Encore Theatre. Also, the actors that we have here with us today, we have Vincent Victoria, who is playing the jailer, and we also have Daniel Wilson down there on the end, and he is playing Shank, and the guys will tell you a little bit about their parts in just a moment. Harold, tell the Houston Theater Beat audience a little bit about where the idea for Incarceration came from, and maybe what you want the audience that comes to see the show to take away from it when they see the show.
Well, after having taught both on the high school and the college level, I ran into so many at-risk youth who found themselves involved with the criminal justice system. And I believe that intervention was necessary. And sometimes the greatest way to reach an audience is through a play or some poetic event or something of that nature that they can see themselves on stage and perhaps will want to alter their behavior. So hence, I started with the formulation of Incarceration, which pits two brothers together inside the criminal justice system who were estranged at birth because one of them was adopted by a rich family and the other one stayed in abject poverty.
Let's talk to the actors just for a second. Vincent, you're playing the jailer.
The jailer, yes.
Right. What's that experience like for you? You're on the other side of the bars.
That's right. That's the best place to be.
With the set, absolutely, absolutely. Tell the Houston Theater Beat audience a little bit about what that experience has been like.
It's been very good. This is my second time in a production of Incarceration. So the jailer was the part that I wanted to play all the time. So this has been a great opportunity for me. And the jailer thinks he is the devil. So that's one of the fun parts of that. A character that is flamboyant and over the top. So I'm getting it.
So you were actually in one of the previous productions playing a different character.
I was.
And now you were able to play the character that you had your heart set on. Right?
Exactly.
Well, that's fantastic. Good for you. That's an actor's dream.
Totally.
Daniel, I can only guess from Shank that maybe you're not the friendliest of all the inmates. Is that true?
That is true.
What is Shank like, and what has your experience been?
Shank is a guy with so much rage. He has so much anger and hostility, somewhat to all the inmates, as well as the guard and the jailer as well.
Sure. And has it been like expanding you as an actor, sort of capturing that?
It has,
anger?
especially vocally, because I have to be very vocal to express my feelings to all the inmates.
Right.
So it has really expanded my vocal talent,
Right.
as well as just me personally, just to let out the anger and the rage as an actor.
Sure. It's part of the fun of acting,
Right.
is getting to do those kinds of things, absolutely. Well, everybody stay tuned just a moment, because we have coming up next a scene from Incarceration that Mr. Haynes and the cast is going to be sharing with you, and that's coming up right now.
How'd you like this stick upside your head, scumbag?
Yeah, man. You know, you ain't got no reason to call me out my name like that, man. You the one who better be worried.
You know what? I've changed my mind. I'm going to lock your ass up right now. I know ain't nobody scared of you. Well, you know what? I changed my mind. A buck whipping ain't good enough for you. Your ass is going in the cage.
Man, I've already been there 3 times this week.
And you're gonna be in there as many times as I feel necessary.
Just take the credit. You laid me like a whore. You stepped on me like I was a... You told me, consider yourself lucky next time. You won't be so lucky next time. I ain't the one to be played with.
All right, what's going on in here? Speak up. I know you don't want me to repeat myself, now do you?
Oh, man, ain't nothing going on. The man just having hunger pains.
Right.
That right, boy? You having stomach cramps?
Yes, stomach cramps.
Stomach cramps, huh? Fuck y'all!
Mr. Haynes and gentlemen, thank you so much for sharing that scene with us from Incarceration, which is a brand new original script written and directed by Harold J. Haynes, coming up here at Encore Theatre. Harold, tell the Houston Theater Beat audience what the dates of the show are and how they can go about getting tickets.
Certainly. And we're happy to invite everyone because this is our 20th anniversary celebration.
That's
We
great.
begin Incarceration on October the 4th, and it runs through October the 27th. Friday and Saturday performances are at 8 o'clock, and Sunday's performances at 5 o'clock. We have tickets available here at the theater at 4715 Main Street, just where 59 comes on to Main. We also have a website. It's www.encoretheaterhouston.com.
Good. And don't forget the Encore Theatre website so that you can check out all of the information for Incarceration is www.encoretheaterhouston.com. Encore's Theater is spelled R-E. Make sure you go to the Encore website, get all of the information about this brilliant new script being presented here, and make sure you get your tickets to come and see Incarceration here at the Encore Theatre. I'd like to very much thank my guests for this segment, Mr. Harold J. Haynes, who is the writer and director of Incarceration and the founding artistic director of the Encore Theatre, which I did not realize is celebrating its 20th anniversary right here in Houston, doing great theater. And also our actors, Vincent Victoria, who's playing the jailer, and Daniel Wilson, who's playing Shank. And everybody stay tuned. We'll be back with more of the show in just a moment. Well, that's all for this month's edition of Houston Theater Beat. I'm your host, John Lazo, and until next time, I'll see you at the show.